gotta sweat that. You could bet that, never gotta sweat that. You could bet that, never gotta sweat that. You could bet that.
Hey guys, what is poppin'? It's your girl Tawana, KT, where everyone's been the day, and I am back with another video. So today, as you can tell from the title, we are going to be talking about how you can have your own YouTube setup on a budget. I have been exactly where you are, contemplating to start a YouTube channel but worrying about the equipment that is required. So in this video, I'm going to show you how you guys can literally get your desired YouTube setup and get the high quality videos that you want for your YouTube channel on a budget. So let's go. So the first piece of equipment you're going to need, which is very obvious, is a camera. And no, you don't need to go and buy any fancy cameras, anything expensive. You don't need to break the bank. You can use your phone, the very phone that you use to scroll on social media, the very phone that you use to watch your favorite YouTubers, the very phone that you use to take pictures and videos when you're probably socializing with your friends. The camera quality will be fine, and if it's not, you can kind of edit it in the editing software, which we will be discussing later. So the same phone you are using now to watch this video, whether that is an iPhone or whether that is an Android, it doesn't really matter. You can start recording YouTube videos with that very camera. I am using an iPhone 14 Pro Max, and funny enough, a lot of you may think I'm actually using the back cameras, but I'm actually not. I'm using my front camera. This phone is 2 years old and it still produces high quality content. I think if you've got anything from the 11 and above, you should be fine, but anything before that, I couldn't like comment on that. But I've seen people on YouTube mention that they've used an iPhone 11 or they started off with an iPhone 12 and they have produced high quality content. But apart from that, literally your phone that you have in your hand right now is the perfect phone to start with, and you haven't broken the bank to start your YouTube channel. So we are currently at zero for spending our money because we're going to use our phone. Just a quick disclaimer, if you guys see me looking to the side, it's because I'm looking at my iPad just to make sure I cover all the sections of this video. As you guys know, I always like to make sure I cover my bases when I'm speaking to you lot, so if you see me looking to the side, it's just because I'm looking at my iPad. The next thing we're going to discuss is lighting. Light is so important. So as you can see from this current setup, and this is the current lighting I have, no, I do not have like 3 lights everywhere. I am literally making my YouTube videos with one light, one little light. It is so small but yet so powerful. It's from Newer, which is a very known high quality brand for lighting and camera and recording accessories, which is why I would highly recommend to get that one than getting like a cheaper B-Tech one, because this is a very known brand and their quality has like never failed. A lot of people use like their big lightings, like professional lighting equipment in their videos, but as we're just small YouTubers starting out, we are going to start small and get this very light on a budget. I think it's about £35 equipment that I will insert a picture with the price. I got mine off Amazon. I got it on Prime, so it came the next day. You guys can get it off Amazon. Just type in Newer lighting and find this portable. It comes with multiple attachments where you can clip it on top of your phone, clip it to different various locations, as well as to the back of your phone if say you was going to use it as a light to vlog. I use this every single video that you see on my channel. That is the light that I have used. I actually have a professional Newer light, but because of my room and how my room is currently set up, this portable small light makes it more convenient. I literally just attach it onto my MacBook, which gives this light from this way and then creates a shadow on this side and gives me this kind of contrast that I am looking for my videos. So depending on what you want your videos to look like, depending on where you will situate your lighting, but this is what works for me. One light, £32, and our iPhones. It's sounding like a budget already. If you guys are interested in more lighting options, I will leave them in the description or my Amazon storefront, because I have actually bought those and they are very good. However, we are talking about affordability. Everyone's in a living crisis and we're starting on a budget, so £32 for this very powerful light is a bargain. And you know what, just before I even move on to the next section, I'm going to show you, this is not even the brightest settings on the phone. It can actually go up. Because I like to have like this very purpley aura in my room, I don't put this to the max. You guys just need to see my face to just see my beauty, of course, when I'm speaking to you lot. But I like to make sure my purple aura is still in the background, which is why I got it on the lowest setting. But I'm gonna put it up to the max right now so you guys can see how powerful this lighting is. So I'm just covering it right now, so if you guys can see, that is getting brighter and brighter. That is the max. That is the max for £32. Are you flipping kidding me? Like, what? Okay, cool. It's blinding me right now, so I'm gonna turn it down. I use it on the lowest setting because I feel like this gives me the perfect aura. But again, you guys don't need any expensive lighting to get it. As long as we can see your face or we can see what it is you're trying to show us, you don't need to start with no high-tech lighting that you see your favorite YouTubers doing. Don't get twisted. I have a few YouTubers where their lighting chef's kiss. And that is what I aspire, but I've got to work with what I can afford and what I've got right now, and this is what I can afford, and this is my setup right now. So moving on to the next piece of equipment that you guys are gonna need, which is microphones. So microphones is a bit of a techie one. I'm kind of like 50-50. So with my sit down videos, I don't use any kind of attachment or like third-party microphone. I use the built-in microphone in my iPhone. I feel like most of the time I try to record in a quiet setting, which is when like my parents or my siblings are no longer in the house, and I can record it where there's not much noises. However, that doesn't happen all the time, so sometimes I do have background noise. However, you can remove it in certain editing softwares if you can afford it, but ideally the iPhone microphone works perfectly fine. I do not edit my audio that much in my YouTube videos, but I will cover that in the editing software section. So yeah, I use my inbuilt microphone when I am doing sit down videos. With my vlogs, I also use my microphone in my phone. However, I have had feedback on my vlogs that sometimes people can't hear what I'm saying, or the background noise is too bad, or the audio changes a lot, like it's 1 minute is really low and next minute is really high. So that is something I'm working with, and I am currently about to buy the DJI microphone 2. I'll insert it. They are quite expensive, but I have been doing YouTube for nearly a year now consistently, and I feel like it's time to invest in those microphones because I have been saving up for them, and I am about to basically be able to afford them. So that's another thing. If there is equipment out there that you want and right now you can't afford, put some money aside every single month until you can afford it. Do you know what I mean? Like whether that's £50, whether that's £20, doesn't matter. Whatever you can afford to put to the side every single month to get those mics or to get any of those extra expensive equipment that you want, do it. Because down the line, while you're working in the process, you just never know. Your channel could just take off and then you can just afford it. But I wouldn't save and then wait to start. Like there's ways around it. So some of the audio in my vlogs are not the best. However, I do try my best to like work around that and speak louder when I'm outside, speak lower when I'm inside, just to kind of make sure it's at the level. Also, when I'm editing, I listen to my audio a lot to kind of make sure, and I will tweak it, either raising it up in the editing software or even lowering it at some point. So yeah, you don't need an external microphone. I wouldn't say it's a high necessity. However, if you are going to be doing vlogging, I would get a microphone as soon as possible. There are cheaper ones you can buy that you can plug into your phone. However, I've ordered them before and their quality is not good. It sounds very cheap, I could say. So if you can save up for a microphone, external microphone, there's some cheaper ones out there. Rode is a very good, highly recommended brand. I am just obsessed with DJI. I already use their gimbal and / tripod for my YouTubes and stuff like that, so I will be sticking to buying the rest of their equipment. I feel like a microphone, it depends. If your videos are sit down when you're in your room and you can do it in a quiet environment, your iPhone microphone will work perfectly fine. If you are out and about, you may want to consider getting an affordable microphone, or be very conscious in the editing software what your audio is going to sound like when you upload it. The next piece of equipment we are going to talk about is tripods. There are so much tripods in the market, and depending on what you need it for will depend on which one you're going to invest in. I currently use a DJI. It's a gimbal, it's not really a tripod. I bought this because I am trying to take video editing / videography a bit more serious, so I need a gimbal that can offer me free movement to get the shots that I need, but it is expensive. I think I mentioned before, like this is like nearly £150, and that is expensive for a tripod. However, like based on what I need it for and based on like other interests that I'm in, it works for me. However, you can use a standard tripod from Amazon. I have another tripod that I got from TikTok, I think was like £20, and I've also shot b-roll content on there as well, and it works perfectly fine. You don't need to get a fancy tripod, you don't need to get a fancy gimbal or anything to start off. Literally, you can spend £20 and you're done. Currently, where we stand with the budget, we've got our phones, which is free. We've got the lighting, which is about £32. We've got no mic if we're doing sit down videos, and we've got a cheap £20 tripod. So already, we're not even breaking the bank. When you're looking to buy a tripod, read reviews. I know people make videos on TikTok about like these different tripods, but really like read the reviews. I always read reviews when it comes to tripods, because depending on what you need it for will depend on how sturdy you need it to be, if that makes sense. If you're going to be doing a lot of shots outside where it needs to withstand wind and all of these things, I would get something that's very, very sturdy, that's going to be able to hold your phone. And remember, if you've got like an iPhone, any iPhone Pro, especially the Max, where they are a bit more heavier, you need that tripod to not be able to be falling over when you're using it. You want it to stay where you put it and it sits. So the next thing we're going to talk about is editing software. So this is like a big thing, and I feel like if you are not going to pursue like video editing as a career or something you want to do as a passion or a hobby, or if you're not into video editing like that where you want to pay for all of these extra things, you should be using CapCut. CapCut is the GOAT for beginners in video editing, and it is so powerful for what you can do for it, and it is so simple to use. The interface is so simple, like anybody's grand could use this software, and I literally vouch for CapCut. I edit everything on CapCut right now. I am currently learning to edit on Video Premiere Pro. That is more for my clients because CapCut is a very basic editing software, and I think people will probably think it's cheap, and there's certain things that Premiere Pro that just better at in comparison to CapCut, and makes the editing process a bit more smoother in comparison to CapCut, because you have to do things extra to get like the same kind of effects, whereas Premiere Pro you can just do it so simply. However, we're talking about YouTube on a budget. For the videos that you're going to be making for your videos, which I'm assuming is going to be vlogs with simple edits, or it's going to be you sitting down talking to the camera with simple, you know, pop-ups and all these things, CapCut can do that for you. Check out my previous videos and you will see how I've been able to get these nice, you know, pop-ups, these titles, like all of these things, and it looks good. It looks good quality. Like, don't underestimate CapCut. There is a free and a pro version, paid pro version. I do currently pay $7.99 a month for the pro version, but that is because I am pursuing video editing as a career, as a side hustle anyway, as a side business. Whereas if you're just focusing it solely on YouTube, the free version will do fine. It will do absolutely fine. And if you guys want a more in-depth video of how I kind of get my videos to a high quality, free and pro, let me know in the comments and I will actually get that done for you. But CapCut is the GOAT. It's free and there is unlimited access to stuff. They've got filters, they've got transitions, they've got effects, they've got text, they've got so much for free software. Like, I don't want to hear any excuses. As well as that, there's so much tutorials on YouTube of going in depth of how to use CapCut as a beginner. There's so much on TikTok about CapCut as a beginner. You can remove backgrounds, you can add sound effects, you can import audios, literally you can do everything. So we don't need to spend a dime on the video editing software. The only time I would say if you should spend money on a video editing software is if you're trying to do like cinematic, very like professional cinematic kind of videos. I would then pay monthly for the $7.99 Pro, just because it unlocks so much more features, like editing the audio, enhancing the audio, removing noise in the background. It can help to balance your audio, so say if one's too high and one's too low, it will balance it out so that they sound level. But all of those things are pro effects, and you need to be paying the $7.99 a month. I personally think the $7.99 is a month, because I feel like CapCut, what they're starting to do now on the free one, is put all the good stuff in the pro so that you pay for the pro. Like, it's a marketing tactic. How else are they gonna make money? But aside from that, if you are on a budget, definitely pay for the free. See how you find it. If you start to get the hang of CapCut's interface, and you're getting very quick at it, and you're enjoying editing your videos much quicker, and you're liking certain things, and then you're realizing that certain stuff you want to start adding as pro features, then I would go and pay for the pro. But I feel like just starting out, for your first couple of videos that you want to post, don't pay for it. Leave it on the free one. It is fine. It will do its job and you will be perfectly fine. CapCut is so powerful. It's actually so underrated. Like, it's actually the GOAT. And for how much it costs, it shouldn't cost that much. Because if you look at alternative video editing software, like Premiere Pro is at least £20 a month by itself, and you have to have a membership for that. DaVinci Resolve is a little bit cheaper. Don't quote me on that. I will put the prices on the screen. And then you've got like Final Cut Pro, but Final Cut Pro, like, you get a free trial for 90 days, and then you have to pay like £300 to own the video editing software, like, permanently. Who has £300 to give to Apple? Starting out on a YouTube channel, which I don't know if I'm actually going to pursue long term. Like, come on, like, no one's trying to pay that kind of money. So your best option is CapCut. Go with the free until you feel like you need the pro, and then pay the $7.99 for a pro, and you'll understand £8 a month for that level of access to editing software. Oh, come on, man. But we're going to use a free one. So again, we're not paying anything for our editing software. So again, we are really on a budget. Another piece of equipment you will need to consider is storage. So if you're like myself and you're recording like 4K and stuff like that, your storage is going to get filled up quite quickly. And ideally, you wouldn't want to store any of these on your phone. So the best piece of advice I can offer you is to get like an external adapter and an SD card. SD cards are not that cheap. However, you don't need to get the biggest SD card. Again, start off with whatever you can afford, expensive. If you can only afford the 16 gigabyte or the 32 gigabyte, then that's all that you can afford at that time. And as time goes along and they start to get full, you can buy a bigger one. I do have 128 gigabyte. I believe I pay like maybe like 20 something pound for this, which I think is very, very affordable. And I've made a whole load of YouTube videos in 4K and it's still not full. So bear that in mind. The way I get my videos off my phone that I'm recording on onto my MacBook is through this little thing here. This is, I don't know what it's called exactly, but I'm gonna call it like some kind of adapter or transfer machinery. I plug my SD card into the adapter, which I then plug into my phone. It then allows me to transfer all my videos that I've just recorded onto my SD card, so that when I'm editing, I can just take this SD card out and plug it into my Mac. That is how I save storage on my phone, and that is how I stop my phone from getting overflowed and like not enough space and all these kind of things. I ain't got time for that. I struggled with that when I first started, so that is a very key thing I want you to bear in mind. Try and get this as early as possible. It is not that expensive. I think the actual adapter itself is about £16. Again, it's not that expensive. I'm not recommending any expensive equipment here, only as an option. So yeah, definitely try and get this to help save storage on your phone. The next thing that I mentioned was a hard drive. Hard drives vary in price. You can get I think it's a HHD, which is like a standard hard drive. You can get SSD. SSDs are not really necessary. I think for anyone that's starting at YouTube, a standard hard drive would do well. They vary in price. You can get a hard drive as cheap as like £20, but obviously it depends on the space. This is a 2 terabyte hard drive, which is very big. I think this was like £80. However, it's one of those purchases that are quite expensive that you kind of need to make as soon as you can. If you can, there's other options in terms of storage you can try. You can try like offloading your videos onto like a Google Cloud where you can just store it somewhere that's for free. However, you're probably going to run out of space on that very quickly because of the amount of storage it's going to take to record in something like 4K, especially if you're doing it in 4K. If you're doing it in 1080p, you might have a little bit more time before it gets full, but I would recommend recording on 4K, especially if you're recording on your phone. So yeah, I would try and get a hard drive as soon as you can. It's not a necessity at first, but I'm telling you, storage is going to become an issue, especially if you're recording on your phone. So try your hardest to kind of get some kind of extra storage that you can need, so you don't have to take up any storage on your phone or on your computer. So another piece of equipment that you are going to need is some kind of editing equipment, not software equipment. So what I mean by that, you're gonna either need a laptop or some kind of tablet or iPad. Do you know what I mean? So for me, I use a MacBook Pro. However, I did start off with a MacBook Air, so don't feel like you need anything fancy. Whatever laptop you have at the moment, I believe CapCut can be powered on both MacBooks and Windows, so you will be fine. I would use whatever laptop or whatever tablet you have in place. I see a lot of girls video editing on their iPads and their tablets, so that is another alternative. As long as you can download CapCut, you should be fine. The thing is, I want to say you can edit it on your phone. However, I have never personally edited such a long video on my phone, and I don't know if the phone will be able to take that capacity. If you are considering YouTube, you should be considering a laptop anyway in terms of equipment, or you should have one, but don't feel like you need to break the bank. You can use a standard laptop that you have, a HP, a Dell. It doesn't have to be an Apple MacBook. It doesn't need to be an iPad. It could be a normal Samsung tablet. As long as you can download CapCut onto there and you can edit it on there, you will be fine. But I'm sure, like, for someone who's considering to do YouTube, you've considered like you need to get a laptop in order to make that possible. Again, I started off with a MacBook Air, and then once my MacBook Air kind of got a bit, it wasn't powerful enough, especially because I do more high quality video editing, I upgraded to a MacBook Pro, but that did take some time. It wasn't instant. I had the MacBook Air for 2 years first, and then I upgraded to the MacBook Pro this year. I only got my MacBook Pro in February, so it hasn't even been a year yet. It's gonna be a year. No, it wasn't February. I got it in May. Yes, I got it in May. So I got my MacBook Pro in May. So before that, when I started my YouTube video this year in January, I was using my MacBook Air. I did edit some of them on my tablets, which lets me know, like, which is why I can tell you that you can do it on an iPad as well. I do have an iPad Pro, but I literally have seen that if you go on TikTok, I'm telling you, there's girls who have edited their whole vlog or their whole YouTube video on their iPad mini or just a standard iPad. So it's very, very possible to edit on a tablet. So don't feel like you need to go break the bank in order for you to get any of these things. things. That is just something else you are gonna need to consider if you haven't got a laptop or some kind of like editing equipment already. The last thing I kind of wanted to speak about is like management and any additional apps that you may want to use for your channel. And I feel like if you're editing on your phone and you don't really like your camera, a good third-party camera, which has been blowing up all over TikTok, I've been seeing it everywhere, and I will link it in the description below, is Blackmagic camera app. This camera, it takes your camera to the next level. It lets you play with your aperture, it lets you play with your exposure, it lets you set your frames per second, and it can have other effects, like it can help to blur your skin if you've got like any blemishes that you want to cover. It really takes your content to the next level in terms of quality. So if you're looking for a quality and you feel like your iPhone is not doing it, say you've got an old iPhone that's not pushing out the quality that you want it to, go and check out that app. It is free, and play with the settings until you like what you get. I don't use that for my YouTube video editing. However, that's because I use DJI. So with my gimbal, I get access to the DJI app, which kind of offers the same kind of features as the Black camera app. DJI is free, however, you can only access the app if you have a DJI product, which I do have. So I didn't want to recommend it in this video because you guys may not have that, but the Blackmagic camera app is absolutely free, and anyone who has any kind of tripod can use that and access it and use it. I've used it for like when I'm out and I'm not using my gimbal, where I can't access the DJI app, I will use my Black camera app, and it still gives me high quality vlogs and high quality content. Even on my social media as well, I use the Blackmagic camera app. I just play around with my settings. I like a very like dark on my short form content, and that camera app gives me that perfectly and allows me to play with so much. You can also play with your audio levels. It is really good, and it's really powerful, and it's free. So again, for you starting out on your YouTube channel, like, you're getting a lot for literally nothing, and that is what we want to hear. The next software that I suggest you guys to jump on, which is also free, I don't pay for this, is Notion. Notion is a very powerful management / productivity app, and I feel like it will help you to manage your content. Management is so key if you're going to take YouTube serious, especially long term, and if you're going to proper build a structure for yourself where you're going to do one video a week, you're going to edit it and all of these kind of things. I feel like Notion will give you that structure in terms of productivity and management, which will allow you to stay on track and make sure you're structuring your videos right. I use Notion to literally draft any ideas or video ideas that come to mind, and I'll put them there, and I will show you guys what that looks like for me. I will put any ideas in there. I've got a full list of videos that I want to create, and I just choose when I want to create them. I've got a scripting area which helps me to like plan out, like I mentioned earlier in the video, and I'm like, oh, quick disclaimer, I've got some notes. It's on my Notions app on my iPad. I've literally got a script which covers key things that I want to discuss with you guys in this video. It also helps me to keep track of what's been uploaded, where it's at in its editing stages, whether it's been recorded, whether it's been edited, or whether it's still an idea, like I haven't even produced it yet. All of these things help me to kind of stay on track. I also have a calendar which allows me to, you know, see what I'm recording, when it's supposed to go out, and like how many days have I got to edit that video to make sure it goes out on time. It kind of helps to manage and helps me to stay on track, and that is so important for someone who's going to be doing YouTube on a long-term basis. You need some kind of management system, and I feel like Notion, especially because it's free, can offer you that. Okay guys, so that is it. I feel like I've covered everything that you would need to start your YouTube channel on a affordable budget. And if you guys are interested in starting a YouTube channel, let me know down below. Let us connect. Us small YouTubers gotta stick together. And if you found any of this helpful, please let me know in the comments. If you would like me to delve into anything further, whether that's Notion, whether that is recording, lighting, camera setup, or even video editing skills and things you can do on CapCut, please let me know and I'll get those videos done for you. But apart from that, I'm gonna love and leave you until my next one. Love you. Bye.